My name is Maddie, and this is the first time I've brought my pottery to the forest. It's also far from the last. About a month ago, I turned my garage into a pottery studio. No classes, no mentor, just clay, a wheel, and an obsessive amount of YouTube pottery videos. This feels spiritual. And since then, I've never looked back. I've been on this mission towards becoming a potter, failing, fixing, and learning again and again and again. My first ever self-made piece. So this is the first chapter, the start of something. A series maybe, a story about pursuing this dream and going all in. So if you're interested in making things with your own two hands, or if you just want to see what happens when someone decides to make a new craft their entire personality, you're in the right place. Are you so hungry?
You can't contain it. You can't contain yourself. And... okay!
Every day I've been setting a different goal for myself with my pottery since I am pretty new. And today I want to practice replicating pots. These were my first attempt, but unfortunately I trimmed this one really off center, so it ended up being just kind of a practice pot. I actually carved a little bird into it. That's a jackdaw, and I'm going to hopefully fire it. I plan on going to the pottery studio for the first time next week, so I can finally have some pieces glazed and fired, well, bisqued and then glazed and then fired again, whatever. And I really want to get to the point of where I can regularly repeat the shape over and over and over again. I do quite like how this looks, but I do know it's going to shrink like 15%, so I might want to make it just a little bit bigger than this, but I think that this is the form I'm going for cups. It has been so fulfilling to delve into this craft. I just have so much respect for it. There's just so much history and knowledge behind pottery and ceramics. They've been around for basically as long as people have been around, and so I just can't help it. I just want to dive further and further in. I wedged 9 for cups, and then I think what I'm going to do is get a few more larger pieces just so that I can practice making bigger bowls. I think that'd be a fun challenge. I mean, honestly, all of this is a challenge for me at this point, but I just think big bowls is something to aspire to. I have made a few vases, and if the clay wants to be a vase today, it'll end up being a vase. But I just think that could be really fun. Time for my daily dose of getting humbled. This is the mug to replicate. I just got so carried away. I think I got here at like 3:30 and it's now past 7, so I definitely needed to call it quits. I cleaned up in here, but I made a lot of things. I feel like the cups look more like sisters and not twins, but that is okay. I also made 2 big ramen bowls. I made a plant pot and I made 2 different vases. I still need to get bats so I can make the bottoms. I can make plates, I can make plant pot, water, drainage bowls, whatever, you know what I mean. But I am so happy with this. I'm so excited too because on Monday we're gonna go to the Pottery studio here in town for the first time. I'm a little bit nervous just because I don't know who or if anyone speaks any English, and I'll do my best either way, but it's just a little bit nerve-wracking every single time for me, and that should be my headway into renting a kiln. I am kind of looking into purchasing a kiln, but dang, they're so expensive. They're like so expensive, thousands and thousands of dollars, so we'll see about that. Anyway, that's definitely it for pottery for today.
The main reason why I've been able to do this crazy thing of bringing my pottery studio out to the forest is thanks to the sponsor of this week's video, Bluetti. I've been using Bluetti products for over 3 years now. When I lived in my van full-time, I used Bluetti products to power a bunch of different things. And now, years later, I can honestly say that Bluetti is a big reason why Ellie and I are as far along in our renovation project as we are. We've been having to replace all of the electrical in our house, and we use Bluetti to power all of our electrical tools while we're doing that replacement. This right here is the brand new Bluetti Apex 300, and I think its features capture why I continue to trust and believe in Bluetti products. It has the lowest self-consumption in the industry, so it uses 1/3 of the energy of competitor power banks, and it's also about 200% more efficient. It saves $100 more per year on your energy costs compared to competitors, and if you pair it with solar, you'll pay back your investment in literally less than 2 years, which is great because it's super long lasting. If you were to drain it and charge it once every single day, you'd have it up and running for the next 17 years. That's over half my life. It also has this peak load shifting feature, which I had never heard about, so it'll charge via grid or solar during low rate hours and will power your home during peak pricing. So if you're using it to power things like a fridge or a pool pump, you'll also recoup your investment that way. If you're someone who's looking to scale up your clean energy, the Apex 300 is also modular, so you can connect it to up to 18 batteries for a whopping 58,000 watt-hour capacity. That is enough to back up your entire home or charge your electric vehicle to full capacity. Whether you're off-grid, working on a renovation project like we are, living part or full-time on the road, or wanting to back up your home, the Bluetti Apex 300 is a really good product that's worth checking out. And if you're looking for a power bank and for some reason the Apex 300 doesn't suit your needs, Bluetti has so many good products that I can guarantee will. The Bluetti Apex 300 is currently available on Indiegogo, and if you go now, you can get the special super early bird price, so make sure to check that out. You can click on the link in the description box below.
So I went and I did all the trimming on these pots, and I was able to get them to look like twins, not just sisters now, but I'm a little concerned because I think that I probably overdid it on 2 of the bottoms, and they are pretty thin compared to the walls. 2 of them are fine, but honestly, if I had 2 matching mugs at the end of this and not 4, I would still be really happy. now it's time to trim the rest of it. Today I want to try something a little bit different. Since I still don't have access to a kiln, I can't really make finished pieces. I can't yet bisque fire and I can't glaze fire. But I saw on YouTube that a few people have thrown air dried clay on the pottery wheel. So I have an idea for some really cute things that I can make. And I just think it sounds like a really fun experiment to try to throw these on the wheel. One thing that's nice is my clay is ready for me to start recycling it, so I think that is what I'm going to do first, just so that I can show you guys what I do. This is the second time I've recycled my clay. Pottery is super cool in that every little scrap of clay that doesn't go into the final piece can get recycled. So all of my failed pieces, all of the trimmings, all of the bone dry pieces that I decide I don't want to keep anymore, and all of the watery clay bits that end up in the basin at the end of a throwing session all go in this bucket and can be reused. You just wait a couple days until it becomes this slurry of all the different clay bits, and then you need to try to slowly dry it out. Once you give the clay a really good mix, you evenly distribute it across whatever surface you're using. You can poke it a little bit to add some air bubbles. It helps it to dry a little bit more evenly. So some say, others say it's not necessary. There's a lot of opinions out there from different potters. And then you essentially wait until it's hard enough that you can wedge back into a workable shape. And now we wait. I always try to keep one hand clean. This is all my clay reclaim. You can see how many pots I ended up destroying. And we're gonna try to wedge it for the first time. This is definitely too wet. So my idea for today is to throw a bunch of miniatures, specifically miniature pots that are magnets for your fridge, and you can put little dried flowers in them. And I think it could be really cool to do miniature versions of all of the pots that I threw this week, because then even though I can't fire the pieces that I've made this week with my regular clay, I still have something to hold and enjoy by the end of this week. The only thing is, I have no idea how this is gonna go. A lot of people say that since you're adding a bunch of water to this air dried clay so that you can throw it, they crack really easily. So there is a possibility that after I throw them on the wheel, I make some backup versions just in case they do crack. I also don't really have a whole lot of time to let them dry naturally. I do think I need to put them in an oven, which of course will make them more likely to crack. So we're working with some time constraints, but I think either way, we're gonna have some beautiful little pots at the end of this. How cute would it be to just have like a teeny little handle on a mug, two mugs that are like right next to each other on the fridge. Anyway, I have a lot of ideas. I think I'm going to just test this out and see how it goes. It's gonna be funny, and I'm excited to do it. Okay, this was a fail. Take one, couldn't manage to center it. And it's really, really hard to try to center a little tiny one like this. But I think I might be able to take this and turn it into something later. So we'll save that for now. The air-dried clay was super finicky to work with, especially as a beginner. I had a hard time getting it to stick to the wheel at all and had to really try to dry it out and even roughed up the bottom a bit to get it to stay, but I did eventually get it to stay. After that first attempt, I decided to try throwing off the hump for the first time, which is a technique I learned off YouTube where you attach and center a bigger piece of clay to the wheel and then throw the smaller pieces off of that larger hump. This definitely helped me a lot to get the shape and to have more control, but it definitely took me a few tries to have anything that was actually cute. Oh no! It was going so well and then I accidentally cut off the bottom, but actually since I'm cutting them in half anyway, I feel like it's fine. Okay, third try, we have a little mug. I'm gonna try to add a little handle, and I think I want to make one more of these so that I can have two little mugs. I made the walls really thick because that's supposed to help. Alright you guys, here is our collection of miniature pots. They look so cute already and I just really hope that they make it in the oven. I am totally nervous about that. I'm wondering if I should just try to let them dry naturally, but I really don't have that much time. So I do think they'll have to go in the oven. Maybe I'll do like a few of them in the oven and then leave some out so that I do have some quality control, because I don't know if I really even want to hand build. I really love how some of them even have the throwing rings on them. I don't know if you can really tell, but if these can bake properly in the oven, that would just be a dream come true. I am so excited about these. I now need to take them inside and I actually am going to cut them in half, or at least a lot of them in half. Add backs to them, add handles to them, add all the little details, and then we can stick them in the oven. Alright you guys, these have been drying for quite a few hours and miraculously none of them have cracked, which is just amazing, which means I honestly have a lot of extras. I definitely won't be able to paint them all today, but I think I'm going to just do some simple glazes on all of these and then we can compare them to their counterparts and then we'll be done. This is one of the few that you can see the throwing rings on, so I don't want to cover that up with paint, so I think I'm just going to do neutral for this. I'm leaving the bottoms bare to replicate what you do with bigger pots. And I think it's adorable. I just learned that the front of our fridge is not magnetic, but the side is. That would have been a bummer. I don't know if I knew that something this cute existed before now, and my tear ducts are activating. So that's done. It's cool that we can put fresh flowers in them right now, and then, you know, I can put dried flowers in them in winter, but I think that might be the cutest thing that we've put in the house to date. As for their counterparts, I definitely focused more on replicating the vases in Mini than I did with the cups, especially because I still haven't faced my fear of pulling handles, which will hopefully be next week, if not like tomorrow, when I'm back in there inevitably again. But I think that this turned out better than I even thought it could. So that's that for a week of learning how to become a potter. Who knew you could throw air-dried clay on the pottery wheel? That was pretty fun.
Oh, poor thing. I'm so sorry. Oh, hey! There was an air bubble from the start.
It looks good though.
You don't even know.
Guys, there's no way.
It is so stable. It's like a rock. Yep, she did it. She's picking it up. Oh. Oh. That's actually kind of a fun bowl.
How fun. What a fun little thing I'm doing.
It's a shell!
Why are my tear ducts activating? It's so cute!